Hey, Quentin, you busy? I'd like to have a little chat. I have a job for you. Time for you to get back to being useful again. Instead of just hanging out and doing whatever it is you're doing here. Hello there. Do all of you people share, like, this one house? Dude, that's gotta be crowded. That must suck.
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on, then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
That'd be great.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Let's go talk to Uncle Byron. I love Uncle Byron. He's the best. How many... I can actually check by... Hey, Byron, I'll talk to you in a second. I can actually check by talking to this guy, can't I? Although it might not tell me the ones in the hideaway. Let's see here. We've got the one for Vivian we're doing. We've got the one for Byron, where it's Byron we're doing. And then 2, 3 there. With a 4th and a 5th. So there are currently 7 in the hideaway. 2 I'm working on.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away.
Gaute, tell me about the rest.
Anything catch your eye?
Okay, so we have 1 there. None in Rosaria. 2 in the Dalmekian Republic. Lines in the sand is to follow up with Lubor. Yeah, client Lubor, figured. And none in Waloed. So 2 there, 1
Always
there,
something in there.
and then 7 here. So 10. We have 10 side quests to do right now. Assuming no more crop up as we finish more of them. Depending on what the side quests have us do, we could really knock out a lot of these today.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution. And I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
Man, I'm good. I have no idea who this Rockford person is. But man, I'm good. Oh, my earliest convenience is now. I didn't realize.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with Akashic?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
I love Uncle Byron, dude. Not so subtle.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will.
They've done it. Presumably.
Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
I do love the callback to the play that when Clive was a kid, they would always reenact, and Clive would get to be the good guy, and then Byron would be the bad guy. I love that. Reduces Heaven's cooldown time by 2.5 seconds. That's honestly a little tempting, but I think what I really... If I was going to put on a Heaven's Cloud, whatchamacallit, if I was going to put on an accessory to buff Heaven's Cloud, I don't really want cooldown time, because it already has a really low cooldown time. It's like, it should be 25 seconds, because this should be 10% of it. I think I'd rather have an accessory that makes it where Heaven's Cloud builds up Zantetsuken faster. That would actually... I would maybe switch out the Judgment Bolt cooldown accessory for a Heaven's Cloud Zantetsuken build. I think that's the only thing I might consider at this point. Alright.
What do you think that...
Man, we haven't been down on this level in a hot minute. How is Sid gonna deal with that one, dude? I always... It's a distraction. Get back to work. That's what I'm saying. There's always someone that's like, yeah, giant death crystal in the sky. Don't you guys have a job to do? Well, let's go chat with Vivian. And you know what? I'm gonna chat to this lad. Oh, you're, are you the one who always helps Blackthorn? I can't remember. Or are you the one who works with that one lady who is a curse breaker that normally sends other curse breakers out to work, and she was like trained by that slaver or whatever?
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the curse breakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability. I was hoping you could oversee this one's evaluation.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we should look for in those who'd fill his boots.
Sounds reasonable.
Makes sense.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
Yeah, why not, dude? Why not?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Yeah, I'll get on that relatively soon. I'm gonna help Vivian first.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
I'm really surprised that the game did not give me a couple of more hunts. Are there hunts here, but it's just not putting the little marker to say, like, hey, there are more? Really? Huh. Maybe some of these side quests will be like, oh, maybe on the hunt board it'll tell you where to find this thing I need you to kill.
Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but... But perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you. But this book, it set me on the path to becoming who I am today. Its importance cannot be overstated.
Got it. Understood. So now you want me to talk to Harpocrates. Hey, you may as well grab this.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
Welcome
Come to claim
indeed.
your just desserts.
If the drunken galley captain I shared a table with last night is to be believed, word of your exploits has made its way across the seas to the great continent. What is more, she claims there are those who would see you flourish, herself being one such woman. Gareth. The Genji gloves. What the heck do these Genji gloves do? That's a legendary accessory, like highest tier. Is it worth equipping? Maybe over the Judgment Bolt one? Increases damage dealt to enemies by 5%. So just a flat 5% damage up? Period? You know what? I'll do it. I feel like with how I usually try and let Judgment Bolt sit for a little bit until I get to a stagger bar to use it, that I don't need that 9-second cooldown on it. Back before, it was worth having the 9-second cooldown. How the heck do I get up there, dude? Probably the stairs. Back earlier in the game, it was more worth it because I was more reliant on Judgment Bolt as my big damage dealer, but now with like Zantetsuken, Giga Flare, and soon Diamond Dust, we don't need to have it available quite as often, I feel like. What you kids up to?
Sid, you have to help us.
No.
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No. Well, yes. But that's not what we want to talk to you about.
It's Miss Mididol. She's been acting strange.
When doesn't she?
Very strange. She's barely ever around.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's in a crowd.
In the clouds.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Right after she got back from saving you from Stoneir.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? You really should be more careful around Miss Mididol's inventions. Don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back together, couldn't you?
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together? She seems really sad.
I'm on it.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
What do you... Don't scare him by calling it a dungeon. That's... As if Sid hasn't gone down there multiple times. Alright, well, we're right next to it, so let's go down here and talk to Mid. And see what she needs us to do. Mid, do you have more chores to do that you're gonna ask me to do for you instead, again?
Mid, if you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will!
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied too much on magic. And see where that got them? But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if a godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the tub and crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might find some.
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
Is this gonna lead?
Curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Is this gonna lead to a hunt, maybe? Ask the curse breakers for ideas. I can do that. I can totally do that. Ayo, curse breakers. Ask some questions. You better have some answers. Ronan?
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
Oh no.
I do. And I know to give them a wide berth. Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Karava, near Bidza. Or what's left of the village anyway.
Oh no.
Don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.